the first time I saw myself on the card was 1974. Was the rookie card, and it was Phil Garner, the 4 rookies, American National League infielders. Myself, Phil Garner, was with Oakland then. Tom Verizor was with Detroit, and I can't remember the other guy with Milwaukee, another infielder. I was in the upper right-hand corner, and that's my first baseball card. And I collected cards. I had Chester drawers full of baseball cards going back to 1958, and to finally have my own card, it was a special feeling. It was great.
Hello and welcome to MLB's Carded, brought to you by the eBay Vault, home of the hobby. Up ahead, we have a card conversation with knuckleballer turned broadcaster Tom Candiotti. We'll also hear from legendary card artist Dick Perez. But leading off, there are a lot of ways to add to your collection. eBay's great, trading with your friends is cool, but don't forget about your local card shop, which gets even better when you run into a major leaguer while you're there.
Cards have been around since the end of the Civil War Reconstruction, 150 years. And uniquely, there has not been a card shop that has stretched from coast to coast. It's never really been a franchise type thing. And we said, well, I think we can do it. And we started in Kentucky. We opened a shop in Dallas, and now we've opened this shop here in Bronxville, New York, and then one is opening in Sonoma next month. So we're trying to be the first ever nationwide card shop, but also have it tailored to the community, because that's what cards are inherently about. They're made to be shared. You collect cards to be around your heroes, to be closer to them, and actually some of them are here tonight, so that's amazing.
So I'm Joe Panik, former major leaguer. We're here at the New York Roadshow in Bronxville, New York, here for the grand opening, and excited to be here.
And the Giants lead it 2-1 on the first postseason home run by the rookie Joe Panik.
I did collect baseball cards as a kid. My dad loved baseball cards. He collected cards when he was a kid, so he kind of passed down that tradition. Baseball's always been a family thing, and that's the way it's meant to be. It's meant to be passed down from generation to generation. And it's, again, it's just another piece of the game that we all kind of share. My dad actually has baseball cards of my own, that he's collected from my rookie card all the way through the years. It's definitely special when the collection's about myself. It was weird. It was almost like that feeling of, almost like you made it when you see like your rookie card, knowing how much it meant to my father, and to see yourself in it. It was kind of weird, but then I was like, this is kind of surreal. Like, I'm actually on a card. Other people are going to be opening up packs, and they might be really disappointed or they might be really happy. You just don't know. Again, it's just that feeling for myself personally. It's like, wow, this is pretty cool. I always remember looking at the back of the card. You always look at the stats on the back of the card. So on the prospect cards, it'll have like a little blurb about, whatever, your so-and-so number prospect. But once you get your card where it's like, okay, like your stats are on the back of the card, that's where it's really, really cool, because that's where it's like, these are your major league numbers. You can't change those numbers.
And Joe Panik has walked it off for the Giants.
All right, so I'm going to go through 3 baseball cards of mine that I've got my hands on here, and I'm going to rank them on the Panik meter. First one we have is a 2011 Bowman Sterling card right from when I was drafted. On the Panik meter, I would probably say it's a 3. This is me very young. Here you see a very intense face. On the back, it has a nice little blurb about one of my favorite players. Talked about Wade Boggs. On the back it says, Joe patterned his compact swing after Wade Boggs. So to me, that's pretty cool because it mentioned my childhood hero. But still being, when I first got drafted, 2011 Bowman card, I'll give it about a 3 on the Panik meter. The second card I have here is another draft card. It's a 2011, actually it's my first Bowman Chrome card. So again, you see me with the thick eye black here. The nice autograph. On the back though, this time, what I find it very interesting, it talks about my skills. And it says, polished batsman who drives both gaps, makes pitchers come to him, then attacks. So what I find very interesting is, it was pretty accurate, dead on for, it's pretty funny to look back and see whoever wrote the scouting report was pretty spot on with that. On the Panik meter, I would probably say it's about a 5.5 to 6. My third, and this is actually one of my favorite cards that I've had throughout my career. And this is a 2014 Topps Heritage rookie card. Here you see the RC, and for me, the old school look, the heritage look, I mean, nothing can really top this. This is a 10 out of 10. This is mass hysteria, total panic, panic attack, whatever you want to say. This is a 10 out of 10. This is people go crazy for it. Well, this is what I go crazy for. Rookie card, can't beat that. All of them are special, but again, the rookie card takes the cake. Being able to be in a setting like this with a bunch of friendly faces, being able to mingle with people, be able to sign some stuff. This is what it's about. It's about talking. It's about sharing the love of sports together.
We'll see a knuckler here.
Swung on and missed. That knuckler danced out of the strike zone low and away. Good pitch by Candiotti.
Strike three, the knuckleball. There's strike three. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
I'm excited for our next guest. This guy played in the big leagues for 16 years, known for his knuckleball, but my goodness, what a life. We're talking about an author, actor, what else, movie star, a card collector? Yes. Tom Candiotti joins the show. Tom, good to see you. I have so many Tom Candiotti baseball cards I could get into, but we got to get right down to business. How long have you been obsessed with baseball cards?
Greg, it was one of those things when I was a kid, that's those summer days like you had when you were a kid, where you just go out, open the pack of cards, look for the gum, or you get the cards after a Little League game. Instead of getting the snow cone with your little ticket, you get a pack of cards. And so it started a long time ago when I was a kid. And it just kind of, it was great for about 4 or 5 years. And then you kind of get out of it a little bit. And I got into college. And so there was a card show. So a couple of us went to a card show, and I bought a card for $5. It was like a 66 Willie Mays card. I'm from the Bay Area. I was going to St. Mary's College. And so later on that night, we're back at the dorm, and some guy offers me $20 for it. So, all right. I take the $15 and I go, this is a great business here. I spent $5, sold it for 20, and I bought everyone beers. This is great.
Well, you talk about being in college. Take me back to when you were a kid, though, and you're ripping those packs open. Because I remember when I was with my friends, I wanted to get an Ozzie Smith, a Jack Clark, a Darryl Strawberry, a Doc Gooden. Who were the players Tom Candiotti was hoping to land when he ripped open packs when you were a kid?
Well, I was from the Bay Area. So at that time, Willie Mays, Willie McCovey were really are the big stars, like in our area. But for me, it was the Dodgers. It was Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Maury Wills, and probably my favorite Dodger of all time was Tommy Davis. And I don't know why I became a Dodger fan, but I think those games in LA, the Giants went to LA, they were broadcast or telecast back up to the Bay Area. And so that's where I got to know the Dodgers, and I just fell in love with them. And so when I got a Sandy Koufax, or if I happened to get a Don Drysdale or any of those guys that I just mentioned, it was like gold. Those were gold.
Those are emotional moments, right? When you get the card of the player that you idolize, there's something that happens inside of you. But I got to believe it was a pretty emotional moment when Tom Candiotti got a Tom Candiotti card. What was that like when you saw yourself on a baseball card for the first time?
Dude, the first time I ever saw myself on a baseball card was in 1981 on the El Paso Diablos AA team. They came out with baseball cards, and I thought that was the coolest card ever. It was like some kind of yellow with like a red stripe on your hat, and it was phenomenal. Then they also made one when I got to AAA, but when you finally got to the big leagues, and actually, you go to your little box and you go, I got fan mail, and sure enough, here's a baseball card. And I go, wow, look at this on the Brewers. I got a real baseball card. They can never take this away from me right now. And so at that time, I signed every single card that came to the locker room, which wasn't a lot, but there was, I signed every single one of them because I thought it was the coolest thing, signing a baseball card.
Everyone has their own focus for their personal collection. Mine is Ozzie Smith, my favorite player. I'm obsessed with getting as many rookie cards of Ozzie as humanly possible. What is your focus? How would you describe your personal collection?
Well, I think when I first started off, I had like the cards when I was a kid that are like gold to me, because I still can look at those cards, and I still have all those cards when I was a kid. I was lucky I didn't have a mom that tossed them out when I wasn't looking. So I still was able to keep all my collection. And so, I still have all those Dodger cards that I had. But I will say the guy that you always tried to get, being from the Bay Area, was Willie Mays.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Mays was really he was like your Ozzie Smith. And so the two guys that I just couldn't, they were gold to me was Willie Mays and Sandy Koufax. And luckily I got a chance to meet both of them as my career developed, and both were just phenomenal, are phenomenal people. And especially with Sandy, because I was able to work with him for the 6 years that I played with the Dodgers. And even though he really couldn't teach me too much about a knuckleball, but he taught your mindset and your delivery, and there was so much to it that I'm going, I have to pinch yourself sometimes. Actually, maybe slug yourself, because this is Sandy Koufax helping me. Are you joking me? That's like Ozzie Smith coming on the show and teaching you how to field out a shortstop. Are you kidding me?
I would lose my mind. Right. All right. So what are you on the hunt for now? I mean, no collector is without a mission. So what is Tom Candiotti on the hunt for right now?
Well, my collecting changed, and this is what I do now. So every year with my boys, we try to buy 5 of the younger gun rookies. And so this year, they have their Acuna cards and Soto, and from each year it seems like about 5 guys. And so this year, obviously the big one we're trying to get is a Julio Rodriguez card. That's been kind of the guy, right, this year. And it is a little bit easier, because you can hunt those guys down on eBay or whatever, but there's still nothing like going to the card shop, buying the boxes of cards, and opening the packs. I still think that's the coolest thing ever.
I am so with you on that. Okay, I end every interview on Carded when I have a former big leaguer that loves to collect like you with the same question. And this is, to me, I think it's gold. It's a gold question. Give me your favorite Tom Candiotti card and your least favorite Tom Candiotti card. Because every guy's got a card they can't stand.
There's a couple of those, trust me. I think the one that I like the most is 1989 when Upper Deck came out. The first year, Griffey's card, that. But I love that card that they made of me that year. It was pretty cool. And then the ones that I don't like, man, they're early cards. When I was with the Cleveland Indians, and I think it's a Topps card, and it's got a little brown border on it.
Yeah, I've got this card.
It's got me with a mustache. And it's horrible, dude. It is just horrible.
Why do the mustache was strong, Tom? I don't understand.
No. It's pretty weak, but it was one of those things on the team at the time. We got to grow mustaches, one of those team bonding things, and it just didn't give me a very good look at all. And it just happened to catch me on pitcher day, and man, stuck with you forever. There it is.
So good. I'm not giving away the mustache Tom Candiotti card. I'm holding on to that, just so you know. This was a blast. Tom Candiotti, I appreciate you, your career, the baseball cards you produce for my collection, and we'll hang out and have a beer and talk some baseball cards down the road, okay?
I'm all in, man.
If you're like me and you collected cards in the 80s and 90s, you should easily recognize this one I'm holding, or one like it. It's my pal Harold Reynolds, who was one of many great players immortalized as a Diamond King by artist Dick Perez. Now, we caught up with Mr. Perez to find out how he made his mark on the hobby.
I wanted to bring not just art as a way of showing a player, but art as art. You're not looking at a photograph. This work was done by somebody's hands. It was during the time, the 40s, when when there was a big migration of Puerto Ricans into actually the New York area was the big place. And we moved to Harlem. The idea of baseball was probably the most prominent thing that made me want to fit in. You know, that was an American thing. Everybody played baseball. And it gave me an opportunity to join and to play. And it was the thing that got me involved in my community. And then from there, we moved to Philly when I was, maybe in my late teens. I went to art school, but obviously, you don't predict these things. You don't know what it is that you're going to be when you grow up. I had aspirations of becoming a player, a professional player, which was like, I don't know where I got that idea. But anyway, my original intent was to become a graphic designer. That's what I went to school for. In my graphic design career, I met people that were associated with sports, like the sports information director at Villanova University, who I did work for. He eventually became a general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, so I got to get involved more and more into painting athletes. My work was noticed by the people at the Phillies, and they contracted me and hired me to do their work. Don Russ got a license from baseball. And come Monday morning, and they're saying like, okay, now what do we do? Because there are other, Fleers are going to do it, there were other companies that were going to do cards. How do we separate ourselves from it? My partner and I did Hall of Fame work, and I had already become baseball Hall of Fame official artist by that time. So they came to the right people, because art, you're going to separate yourselves from other companies because you're going to have art in your cards. Many of these players are in the Hall of Fame. And some of them had one good year or what have you, but it made them a Diamond King. I started doing them. At the first, it was a very straightforward portraits. They liked them. And I kept experimenting and did throughout the, I think, 15 years, you know, all kinds of different ways of making art, so to speak. And really heard nothing about who we chose or how we did them. You know, they were just happy that they were successful. They were very, very different. And they let me do what I wanted. And my favorite card is a Chili Davis card, the 95 Diamond Kings. Just the pose, the colors I used, because they were all, I mean, their faces had reds and oranges and blues, and you know, they weren't like traditional portrait shots. They were very different. As I was doing Diamond Kings, they were only good for that year. It didn't even enter my mind that somebody would collect those as a thing in itself. That made a difference in my looking at it. But years later, not while I was doing them. I was just doing one year after the other. I get a lot of emails wanting to know formula to becoming somebody that not only loves to paint, but loves sport, and to do those two things together. And it's just a matter of serendipity. You can't plan that. All you can do is make the most of it when you get the opportunity to really, really come forth with something that catches the eye.
Well, that does it for this edition of MLB's Carded, presented by the eBay Vault. Say hello to the future of collecting. Before we go, let's head back to that New York Road Show. So cool, for a pack rip with Joe Panik. We'll see you next time.
All right, so I'm about to do a pack rip here of the 2021 Topps Chrome. So let's see what we get here. All right, first up, oh wow, look at this card. Adrian Beltre. Man, he was a fun guy to play against. Tough at bat, you know. Always having fun in the field. Always will say hi to you if he's out on second base. I would always say hi to him. Always a gracious person, great ball player. I mean, his numbers speak for himself. But this is a great card to get first out the gate. Next card up, we got Keston Hiura here. I remember when we faced him in Miller Park, he hit a ball up the scoreboard in center field. So that whenever I see him, that always sticks in my mind. Next card I got here, Aroldis Chapman. Wow. Talk about a tough at-bat, left on left. He is, I don't even remember if I put a ball in play against him. If I'm not mistaken, he's either walked me, struck me out, and he actually gave me the biggest bruise on my shoulder. He hit me, I remember in 2015 when he was with Cincinnati, he hit me with the 100-mile-per-hour fastball right in the shoulder. That was one of the few times I actually was like, that really, really hurts. So one of the most intimidating pitchers in the game. Will Clark. This is the next card I got here. Will, I got to spend a lot of time with him in the Giants organization. He was a special assistant with the Giants, and I've known him throughout my entire career. Big influence on my career. Being a left-handed hitter, we would always talk hitting. He was actually, he was definitely a shoulder I could lean on, talk to whenever, and whenever he was around, we always had great conversations. All right, so the last card I pulled is an Andy Pettitte card, and I mean, growing up as a Yankee fan, this one's special here. This is, I mean, Andy Pettitte has thrown so many important innings for the Yankees, big games. I mean, he's in Yankees history, just special. People my age, watching him grow up. I mean, getting this card is amazing. So that's it for the card. The cards I got here, and if I could say, if I got any one of these cards, all the cards I got in here, if I got any of them, I'd be running around my house. I'd be thrilled as a kid. I mean, I'm happy now getting them. So, I love opening up cards. I know getting cards and stuff. So this is definitely special.